So you've started your welcome page, you've completed your portfolio page, you've given people a way to contact you, and now we need to tell people about yourself. So what we're going to do is we're going to then move on to the About Me section, which is all about you, the photographer. Okay, so if you haven't done yet so far, go ahead and hit save right up here, and then we're going to move on to the next section, which is About. And if you haven't been following along in order, all you do is go up to you go up to this section right here where it says Pages, and then you're going to go down here where it says About, and here we are. We're on the About Me section. So I'm not going to show you how to change the background because we've just done that in the last segment. So if you'd like to see that, go ahead and go back to the last segment, which was the Contact section. But for this one, I'm just going to show you how to change this simple text and how to affect the box. It's just the same as it was before. There's really no new information here. This information up in the header is still the same. This information down over in the footer is still the same, and your social bar is still going to be the same as well. You can add more things to this if you'd like by going over here to where it says Add, and then you can add another strip. Now, totally up to you, totally customizable. You can add pretty much anything. The options are limitless. So we're going to go over in the final segment all of the details of this whole sidebar. But for right now, I just want to show you what this is and kind of give you some guidance on what to write in here. So for the About Me section, you want it to be personal. You want your reader to know about you. You want them to know who you are, why you do what you do, and then how they can keep getting a hold of you, or share your passions, share what motivates you, give a small glimpse into your life. People want to feel connected to you as their photographer, because as a photographer, if you're photographing people, you're kind of putting them in a vulnerable spot. So just for a second, they want to make sure that you're reasonable to be vulnerable as well. So you want to share some information that kind of sets you apart from everybody else. And if it's really nothing that sets you apart from anybody else, let them know the kind of work that you're doing that is going to make them feel better about you. Make sure there's just something there that you feel strong about, you feel confident about, and that you feel that you can share with them that's going to make them want you as their photographer. So if you have to sit there and write down 30 different sentences and then use the best couple, then do that. Don't rush through this. This is a really, really important section. It looks really small, and it's a really quick video on this section, but I do want you to know that this is one of the most important things that you're going to find in making your own portfolio, is the About Me section. Because by reading this, people can very quickly decide if they like you or not like you. They could love your work and then start reading your About Me section, and they can be completely thrown off. So just real quick as an example, I'm going to bring you over to my About Us section, and I'm going to go to About. I'm going to scroll down, and just right away I have this nice to meet you, just a really quick parallax with that, and then I've got just a really easy, quick statement. It says 14 hours. That's the average time a bride has to take in every experience of her wedding day. In that window of time, she's expected to have her hair and her makeup done, dress on, pictures taken, walk down the aisle, greet every guest, and dance the night away. Those 14 hours quickly feel like 14 minutes. You will only get one wedding. We want to help you experience every bit of that 14-hour day. You may think the wedding photographer is solely responsible for photography. Our job extends past imagery and into wedding coaching. It may be your first wedding, but it's not ours. Our brides know they can rely on us to hold their hand throughout the day, sometimes literally, making sure they aren't left wondering, what's next? The only thing we want our brides focused on is saying, I do, and celebrating the best day of their life. So you see how that in itself is just kind of reassuring the reader that they can rely on us. Every step is not being like, we blow up this wedding, we are so good at this wedding, we are so good at taking photos, our photos are beautiful. I don't really say anything about photography. I just say that, you can rely on me, and I reassure them why. I mention, kind of what it's like to be in a wedding to kind of show them I've done this before. All right, and then right down here, right away, I have Get in Touch. You click on that, it takes you right over to our Contact Us page. And then right here, I just have a quick video about, it's an About Us video. So you click on that, and then all of a sudden it starts playing. So
one of the things that makes Zach and I different than other photographers in the area.
That's the option that you can do. That's what you can do to make this customizable. Is you can start adding all of your own elements to your website. You don't have to make it just like a text. You can start adding photos. You can start adding all kinds of stuff like that. But anyways, so you click on this Get in Touch page, or this Get in Touch button. It's going to take you right over to the Contact Us page. Really simple, really basic, but this is how you kind of want to run things. You want to make sure you give them the option to go over and to see you. Okay. So going back to here. So after saying all that, I hope you now know that you can be kind of creative in here. Don't just write down, I'm passionate about photography. It is my life. It is everything. I see life through a lens. Don't be cliche, because people see through cliche just as well as you see through theirs. I want you to write it down, and then I want you to read it, reading it almost from the eyes of who's ever reading your About You section. Be critical on yourself when you're writing it. Be an artist, and be very critical on your own work, because you're going to be the one that's going to be solely responsible for everything here. You don't have somebody else telling you how to write this. It's going to be completely on you. So make sure you're using proper punctuation, make sure you're capitalizing your letters, your grammar is exactly how it's supposed to be. You want to look as professional as possible, because you never know who's going to be looking at this and when they're going to be looking at this. You might not change it for a few years, and who knows what you're doing 5 years from now, but this might still be the same, and you want to make sure it's good. So to edit, it's really simple, just like everything else with a text box. Just click on it and make sure it's highlighted in blue, hit edit text, and you can start typing away. Or you can go over here and start changing things like the fonts, the size, the colors, the boldness, whatever you want it to do. That's exactly how you do it. So it's the same thing right exactly here. If you want to add something, go over to the plus sign over on the left side and start plugging away. That is the About Us section. So I hope you have a better understanding of what the About Me section is and why it's so important to your portfolio. So there you have it, your very own portfolio online. Now, I just want to let you know that this is free. This is a completely free resource, which is really cool, and it's completely customizable. I encourage you to go on there and start just really looking around and digging into what this place has to offer. As you start to become a little more professional and start actually making money, go ahead and pay for it. It's worth it. Buy your own domain name, get rid of the .wix website name, and I think you're really going to notice that it's going to amp up the service, and it's going to really motivate you to try harder as a photographer as well. So I hope you really enjoyed this segment of this, and just be sure to, if you don't do anything else, if you don't mess around with the home page, if you don't mess around with the welcome page or the contact us or about, at least get your portfolio up here. So at least get this section up here and update it frequently. Every time you have another great photo, put it on there, let people see your work, and let them explore you as a photographer. And I'm super excited to start the next segment, which for our pro photographers. Good luck with everything, and I'm excited to see what you guys are turning out for your websites.